So there are rumors now that Khamzat Chimaev will be next for Alex Pereira. So we're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna move over a bit, and if you like the content, subscribe. The last few months, you guys have been killing it with the subscriptions. Viewership, I don't know, makes no sense because I get more subs off of videos, I get less views, so I have no clue how that works. But anyways, we all know about Pereira making that Instagram post saying he's very happy with his talks with the UFC, and we all know that Ankalaev is the clear number one contender at heavyweight. However, there's a big issue of Ankalaev not being a promotable fighter. And let's face it, his fight with Rakic was boring as shit. His fight with Jan, even though I thought he won that, was boring as shit. So, I feel like the UFC wants... They either want to make sure that if they give Ankalaev the shot, they can promote him. Because he's not a wrestler. He has good striking. But like I said, man, Ankalaev, he's not entertaining. There's no other way around it. But Khamzat Chimaev is. Khamzat Chimaev. How long has he been in the UFC for? Let me look that up. I will mute my desktop audio. Khamzat Chimaev. Let's see. I'm pretty sure he came in like 2020, right? His debut was July 15th, 2020 against John Phillips. And then I'll throw this on there. Let's see. Is that? Yeah, that's good. So he debuted July 15th, submitted John Phillips. He then knocked out Reese McKee. He didn't take a single punch. He only took one strike in four fights. Because then he submitted Wing Jiang on the Blachowicz Teixeira card. Then he fought against Gilbert Burns in a really good win. Won that by unanimous decision. Submitted Kevin Holland by first round arse choke. That was the card where he was supposed to fight Nate Diaz. Everybody hated that idea and just realized they were trying to kill Nate Diaz's value. And then mysteriously, Khamzat Chimaev misses weight. They do the fight with Kevin Owens at 185. And then he fought Kamal Usman in a fight that he really did not look good in. Many people thought Usman potentially won that fight. I mean, it was a majority decision. One of the judges had Usman winning it. And then you had his most recent win at UFC 308 against Robert Whittaker. I don't know why I can't read. And then, just to pull up Alex Pereira, when you look at his UFC record, you got Khalil Roundtree in October. Really good win. Faced some adversities and came back in the third and fourth round. Then he knocked out Yuri Prochazka with one kick in the second round after basically knocking him out at the end of the first round. Then you had the first knockout against Chimaev, which was weird. He got hit in the cup. He pushed Urbine away. Chimaev dropped his hands. He landed a hook. Night-night Chimaev. Then you had the first fight where Pereira knocked out Prohaska in the second round with elbows. Then you had his debut against Jan Blachowicz, which many people thought Jan won. Jan landed a few takedowns, went for 2 submissions. Pereira went for his own, but he ended up winning the split decision. Before that, got knocked out by Izzy, and before that, he knocked out Izzy for the belt in the 5th round. This comeback, he knocked out Sean Strickland before that, which was a good win in hindsight. Sean Strickland went on to become champ, and he's facing Dricus in Perth. Then you had the fight against Bruno Silva, and you had the fight against Andre Michailidis, his debut, where he hit a flying knee for a knockout. So, I don't need to tell you how big of a star Pereira is. I don't need to tell you how big of a star Khamzat is. Khamzat is probably the best wrestler in the UFC, period. I don't think anybody will argue that. Pereira is the best striker in the UFC, and the criticism that he has is he hasn't been tested in the wrestling department. He's fought guys like Yuri Prohaska, he fought Jan Blachowicz. You know, Khamzat Chimaev is different though. Khamzat Chimaev can strike, he can go grapple. But I'm really interested to see the work that Pereira has done with Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira being one of the best grapplers we have seen in the heavyweight division. Now, of course, you got John Jones, DC, guys like that who were, all-time light heavyweight greats. You want to throw Randy Couture in there. But he's fought down the way, sadly. But Tito Ortiz, as much as we make fun of him, but this is a super fight. And when you're thinking about it in terms of Pereira is 37, right? He only has a few fights left. He's in the same boat as John Jones. Pereira has transcended his stardom, right? He is now the face of the UFC, I would argue. Conor McGregor's gone. I don't think he's coming back. Apparently he'll come back early 2025, but I won't believe it when I see it. So in the time being, Pereira is the biggest star in the sport. You could argue that Khamzat is the second biggest star in the sport. I know you got John Jones, you got Islam Makhachev, you got Ilya Topuria. This fight would be interesting style-wise, promotion-wise, and, it would be interesting to see Khamzat at 205. Obviously, Khamzat is a clear number 1 contender. But there's the underlying issue that he's not allowed to fight in most countries because of who he's married to. That is where the UFC has to be very careful with whether or not they put the belt on Khamzat Chimaev, right? For Pereira, though, imagine he is able to go up to heavyweight with a win against Khamzat Chimaev. That would be massive. Maybe he still does the Ankalaev fight. And again, this is all speculation. This is rumors. And the reason I think it's plausible, he said after his negotiation, he was very happy with the UFC negotiation. He doesn't want to fight Ankalaev. Some people say it's ducking. Other people say it's promotion-wise. Like, it's different for Pereira than John Jones, and the fact that Tom Aspinall himself is a massive star and has star ability. Ankalaev, not really. You got that. Well, I guess they both had really close fights with Jan Blachowicz. He beat Rakic, but, you know, again, does the UFC want to put the belt on a guy they can barely promote? When you have guys like Marab, you have Juliana Pena, you got a lot of champions there now that either don't know how to market themselves or are at odds with fans, right? Now, I know Juliana Pena will face Kayla Harrison at some point this year. But, you know, this will be the ultimate test for Alex Pereira before he moves up to heavyweight. And I do favor him at 205 because, well, we haven't seen Khamzat at 205. We don't know how his wrestling will be effective at a 205 weight cut. Because I'm pretty sure Khamzat fights well. Probably around 230 would be my guess when he's in the cage. I know Pereira, when he's in the cage, is around 240, right? So, my question to you would be, does it make more sense to go with clear number one contender? See if he does well against Ankalaev. Again, Ankalaev isn't a wrestler. I said this in one of my other videos. Ankalaev is not a wrestler. He's a stand-up artist. He can wrestle, but he doesn't. He even said he would stand up with Pereira. I don't think that would go too well with him. But I definitely think Khamzat Chimaev will be the more logical move for the UFC to do. Now, they would have to do that before Pereira moves up to heavyweight, which he is dead set on. I know Pereira said he wants to move down to middleweight. I don't see him doing it. Right? And you guys know, I really want to see Pereira versus Francis. I believe that Francis will, I don't know, with the PFL now. Whenever Francis is able to get over his contract for whether or not the UFC buys out PFL, which is possible, then they would have for sure a monopoly. They would own PFL, Bellator. You know, they bought out Strikeforce, they bought out WEC. So, for the UFC, I think this is the move. I think this answers the question we all want to see, and how is Pereira's grappling. I think it solves the problem that the UFC does not feel confident in giving Ankalaev another title shot. And then maybe when Alex moves up, they would potentially do Ankalaev versus Khamzat. Assuming Khamzat wins, right? But I don't know. We'll have to see what gets announced. I don't think it's check here. I don't think anything has been booked for March. Well, wait, no. There was, what was it? I just did a short on it the other day. They just fucking announced it. Upcoming events. Come on. God, they need to update their website so fucking bad. It is so horrible to use. I wish I could go to the UFC page to look at the fighters' full stats, but you can't. Okay, well, they're not even showing up. Let's see if I can find a place. 2025. 2025 event schedule. There we go. God, they need to fix their website. So, we got, Dern versus Rebos. I have to look at that card, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for it. Makachev, Sarukian, duel following that insane press conference we had the day after the UFC 3-time press conference. Then you got Adesanya versus Imavov, good fight. Drakus versus Strickland 2, good fight. Cannonier versus Rodriguez. Then you got UFC Fight Night Seattle. We have a couple fights scheduled. I think which one is? I think this March 1st one is the Izzy. And that's, oh wait, no, that's okay. I am gone. Oh wow. But I know that they announced some of the fights for this card. I guess they just don't have a main event yet. Then you got UFC 313, which is waiting to be announced. I feel like this 313 card will be when we see Pereira. The question is, though, is who will he fight? Because I do believe that the UFC would want Pereira on the International Fight Week card. Maybe you do, because then the logic would be you do the Ankalaev fight, because Khamzat has a better chance of finishing him. I'm not sure. Then again, Ankalaev is a knockout artist. But we want to see. I feel like these cards will be announced probably around New Year's. I know they're gonna probably want to make some big headlines to start the year. Well, let me know in the comments, what do you think about Alex Pereira versus Khamzat Chimaev? Do you think it's a good idea, or do you believe Ankalaev deserves his title shot? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're interested in a really fucked up story, the video I did on that Georgia couple is, oh my god, like I couldn't say what I truly thought about because it's YouTube. Those people are fucking horrible, dude. Anyways, like I said, let me know in the comments what you think will happen. Like, subscribe, all that. Later.